So yeah, in the movie, they end up fighting aliens, and they have to defeat the aliens using Head and Shoulders because the active ingredient in Head and Shoulders is, of course, selenium sulfite, right? So what they do is they take a fire truck, load it up with Head and Shoulders, and end up shooting the Head and Shoulders up into the aliens.
Hey guys,
Oh, hey Mike,
what are you talking about?
said we're talking about evolution this week.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, that's not even a board game, dude.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Hi guys, we're the guys of the Holder. Thank you so much for coming to our discussion of the game Evolution: The Beginning. We played this game a little while ago, and some of us had fun, maybe some of us didn't, but we're gonna tell you everything we think about it right now. We're gonna start with going just a little brief overview with the game. Tony, why don't you take us off?
Yeah, so Evolution in the beginning, you essentially play as different species. So you'll start the game, you'll get different species, you'll put traits on them, you can increase their population, and the objective is the game to eat the most food and score the most points. So you get scored on the amount of food that you eat, each species that you have, the population they have, and the traits that they have. And the person with the most points at the end of the game wins the game. Pretty straightforward stuff. Not too complicated in terms of gameplay. If you want the full rules on everything, we did do a turn 1 video on this. Link should be down below.
Yep.
Explaining everything in more detail. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Cool. Larry, why don't you tell us about the game, the history and facts?
Yeah, history. It came out in
Things.
2016.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a redo of. It's the easier version of Evolution, which came out in 2014.
Oh wow, so long ago.
So long ago. Well, the original game, it's fancy dancy, and it was in Nature magazine, and they use it at Oxford Biology Department. They're like, this is Evolution.
Right.
And then it was preceded by.
So the 2014 version of Evolution is a re-implementation of a 2010 game known as Evolution: The Origin of Species, which isn't just a book by Charles Darwin. It's a fantastic movie from 2001 that everyone should watch.
Tony's been sticking me with that all day. So.
It's great, man. Oh.
Yeah, you should watch it more than once. It's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
David Duchovny and
Sean William Scott,
Sean William Scott,
Orlando Jones.
Orlando Jones
I think it's-
from Mad TV. That guy's great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, do you have any other David Duchovny movie facts to share with us?
No
No.
more David Duchovny facts other than watch the X-Files.
Yeah, watch the X-Files. Dude, they're
And
amazing.
Zoolander.
Is he in Zoolander?
Yeah, he's the hand model.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's got his whole hand in like the encasing, and
Stiller
Ben
breaks it.
Stiller breaks it.
Wow. So you know that movie, but you don't know this movie.
But why male models?
Right. Yeah. Well. So I guess now that we kind of know the history of the
Sure.
game, I guess we'll kind of get into our discussion about our gameplay of it and what we kind of think of this game. So I guess we'll
Right.
start with pros. I'll go ahead and get started because mine's pretty simple. This game does exactly what it's supposed to do, and that is teach people how to play games. It is very
Yeah.
easy to learn. It's very basic. It just does what it needs to do, which is adequate and nice, and I appreciate that. It's one of those games that you can teach someone that's never played board games before, and you can teach them in like 10 minutes, if that.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that would kind of be my big pro for it.
Anything else?
I'll have a lot more to say later.
You have a lot more to say later.
Yeah.
You're waiting for me.
I'm waiting.
You're waiting for me. So
I don't want to steal anyone else's thunder here, so I'm
Sure
gonna let
thing.
people do theirs.
Well, I don't want to steal Larry's thunder. I realize we didn't give him a nickname in this video, and that whole bit's gone now. What are your pros?
Honestly, I mean, it's simple. I like that it's simple. And then there is some strategy. Plus, I like, oh, I got a carnivore, so now I'm flying, and I laugh as they can't eat me. Or they're flying, and I have a carnivore, and then I fly, and I eat them. I enjoy being an asshole.
Right.
So I appreciate letting me be an asshole. Both evading and murdering.
Sure, of course. So I guess I have to come up with something good to say about the game.
Yeah, you stalled long enough.
I stalled long enough. Well, without piggybacking off anybody, because those are both actually really great things about this game, I also enjoy the artwork and the traits that they've chosen to steal a conversation that we've had previously about other games, it stays in theme really well. And it doesn't, immersion is kind of a big thing because I really like role-playing games for me. And I do feel immersed in the game because of the traits, and nothing really goes against the grain. Like, it doesn't remind me that I'm playing a game too often.
Right. Yeah.
And I can just focus on this cool artwork and creatures, and if I'm going a little deep in my head and daydreaming, which this game kind of allows you to do, I can fantasize about what my monsters are and who they are and what their families are like and how many populations.
What was
they're
your
feeding.
monster's family name?
My monster's family name was Monstar.
Monstar. Okay.
Monstar.
Why are they monsters instead of animals? Why are they monsters instead of animals?
Because.
Why do you got to do that to these poor animals? They're just adapting to live, to survive. Why are they monsters? You're the monster.
And human was the real monster all along.
And humans were the real monster all along.
Sweet Space Jam reference, by the way.
I know. It's what my head went to.
All right, so I'm actually going to go against you. I think the art is not great.
Really?
Yes.
Hold on.
The reason I'm going to say this is because in the normal game of Evolution, it's the exact same art. They just slightly expanded the borders, and I thought it would have been great if
They were new.
instead of having every single speed look exactly the same, if they put one other art in there.
Right.
It would have been good.
That would have been great. A great idea.
Come on, man. I appreciate that they took some traits that are from expansions from normal evolution. Like flight isn't in normal evolution; it's in a different expansion. I appreciate that they took that and put that in here, and that's nice. And that they just took the art and made it full border because it makes it look, it showcases it. But it would have been cool if they had some other arts in there.
Some new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I need to see the same long neck in there the entire time, man? Give me a Diplodocus, man. Come on.
Okay. But the art part that I like is the colors and the actual stuff. I ain't worried about it all being the same.
Okay, that's
I
fair.
would prefer variation, but just the actual drawing and colors themselves.
As a colorblind individual, not a thoroughly colorblind, it's red-green colorblind, so every other man on the planet. These are vibrant and easy to see, and I can tell that they're popping, which is great. One of the reasons why I gravitate towards the art, because it is very colorful to me. Yeah.
Well, that was actually my con.
Your one big con?
My one big con. My other con is this game is very snowball.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because we got our butts handed to us in the game.
By whom? It wasn't me.
No,
it was this guy.
Yeah, it was the guy with
Oh, okay. Yeah,
our
yeah.
butts.
Our butts. Yeah, he
Handed to
ate it.
us.
That's why the belt's in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I win.
Yeah. And I'm not just saying that because of that.
Right.
I know that would be an easy excuse to have. But if you just don't end up with the right traits or anything like that, it just snowballs out. And it's very, for a game that's about engine building, it can just be dominated by one thing. So there's not really an engine to build all the time.
Right.
There are times to do it, but unless you get the right cards at the right time, you cannot thoroughly build an engine for it.
Right.
It just, you get steamrolled.
Yeah. You just get stuck with what
And
you got.
I mean, that's no one's fault except the games.
Oh, that's nature, is what I was about to say. Stuff does happen. So it is a good emulator of that in a sense. But I'm just going to jump in with my kind because I'm sitting on it. This game is long, and it just kind of drags on. It's not really that long. They go by fast, but it's a timer, and what the timer is that the cards run out. The deck is rather big. It's not that big, but I'm fine with eating the most food. You're the winner. I'm fine with there being a time limit. Find a different one. It's evolution. Say that there's a mass extinction event and there's a ticker on the board counting down. Or, here comes the meteor. It should be, especially since it's a game for beginners and it's supposed to be easy to play, I think it should be even faster. And play in rounds. Larry got the first round, Tony got the second, now we need the tiebreaker. Just to sit there and eat and everyone get upwards of 60 or 40 points, I think the game is too long. It doesn't need to be that way. It can end faster and it could have a cooler countdown.
So essentially what you're looking for is a way to define the actual game length instead of just running through a deck.
Yes.
Which can go very fast or very slow, depending on what everyone's drawing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's dependent.
Yeah. And I think that's, yes. Man, if you think this game is long, you're going to have a hard time when we go on to some other ones.
Well, no, like, that's not an issue. Obviously, like, we play D&D, we played games like Dark Tower or other things. The length and it's my attention. You know, I wanted to keep my attention the entire time. And when it wasn't my turn, I wanted to talk to my friends about literally anything else.
So would you say that this game fails the phone test? That when you're playing, you want to take a look at your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And without question. Yeah, I
That
would
is definitely
definitely
a
do
problem.
that. Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, you're a horrible person to play games with if you do that.
Yeah, I know.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
ever do that.
Don't ever do that.
And don't wait until your turn to figure out what you're doing.
Right.
You should
Right.
always be thinking on everybody else's turn.
You should.
This game's a
D&D
little-
rules, but also
This
I'm
game's a
always
little
the
bit
dungeon
different,
master, so.
because you don't know what you have until you draw on your turn.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So it
it's
makes you think.
It's a little bit like you can't.
But you can still be like, oh, if I get this, I could do that. Or
Right,
I do
right.
have these guys can do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say is your con?
The 2 food per turn. It slows things down.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
simplifies
Yes.
it too much. So,
Yes.
like, what I was saying, like, you can think, oh, my guys have this, my guys have that, they could do this. You're very limited with your resources. Like,
Absolutely.
too
Yeah.
limited.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to go carnivore, or you have to do.
You either have to have a long neck or be a carnivore.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just have your fast guys
Right.
prosper pretty much.
Right. So, what would you do to improve this game? How would you improve that
Have a
shortcuping?
different way to add food.
Okay.
Than more than 2.
Okay.
Maybe roll a die. Something.
Right.
Something different.
Mhm.
So before we kind of move on to our suggestions, I think a die would work really good. Or in all reality, just get the normal Game of Evolution. Just get the normal one because it has numbers on the card, and that you use that for the food tokens, and you can make the normal Game of Evolution fit this style. The rules exist; they're out there. You can dumb down normal Evolution to make it easier to teach,
Right.
and then you also leave room to expand after that. And it helps fix the food issue, which is, when we played, it was crippling.
Yeah, because Larry obviously did the best. So I don't want to say like Tony and I are amazing, but we figured out the mechanics pretty quickly and we were strategizing really well. We were always emptying out the pool, leaving nothing for the next person, which is the goal, which is good, but I would like it to be a little bit more difficult to do that. So like, oh man, I didn't do well. Like there's still 6 food left for Larry to eat.
It should be. It's harder to do. 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, like, come on,
Right.
2 food.
2 food.
You can't just. Yeah. Have 2
Essentially,
guys,
the
they
water.
exist and they
Yeah.
eat.
Essentially, the watering hole is in a perpetual drought.
Yeah.
Nothing is growing.
Nothing is growing. Like this planet is doomed. These animals aren't going to survive much past what
No,
we have.
they're not. It's very skewed. The carnivore.
Yeah,
herbivore
carnivores.
ratio. Like it's supposed to be
A
way
balanced
more.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
It
No.
is not a balanced
No.
ecosystem. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess is there any other ways that you would try and make this game better?
I did just come up with
Meteors.
a meteor idea. That's awesome. Actually, I
That
would
is a
do
pretty
that.
good
That
idea.
would make me feel a lot more, and I could think of like theme music that I would have, like. No. It's Armageddon.
It is
I wanna close my eyes. Steven Tyler. That's what it would be playing the entire time with that getting closer.
Tyler's just crying in the corner.
You would
Right,
just
yeah.
like
That's
a
what she does.
big TV screen of Bruce Willis just on the screen.
Tell my baby girl I love her.
Great movie.
Yeah, I think the best way to improve this game is honestly just to get evolution. That's the best way.
Because honestly, don't buy this one. But we mentioned that it was out of print, right?
So this version of the game is out of print.
Yeah.
So if you want to buy it new, it's between like $40 and $70
It's
online,
expensive.
unless you find it at a local retailer, which might be selling it for cheaper. If you want to buy it used, I know that there are like some game board exchanges and stuff that exist. You can get it pretty cheap for $10. Normal Evolution is still in print and is $30, and you can get it online. And furthermore, with Normal Evolution, you can actually get like the expansions and stuff like that. And normally, I wouldn't like to compare a game directly to another game, but when you're literally
The same game.
the same game,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but
The
then you
prequel?
don't get the sweet promo cards that come with
That's true. Is the promo card art different in this compared to?
Yes.
Is it? Okay.
Oh, really?
So
There is-
boom, there goes your con, bud.
There
Oh,
is
man.
one
Yeah,
cool
these-
envelope. No, let's read this envelope. What's it say? It says-
Ready to dive deeper. Here's an exclusive sneak peek into Evolution game system, and it has. So you can see how it has the
cards.
numbers on there,
Yeah,
right?
that's how many you put the food in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's different amounts.
And it's all the same card.
It's all the same card.
They didn't give you. Okay. All right, Evolution. Sneak peek into the new game. You gave me all the same card. There's nothing else. I guess it's to add this into
The base
game.
Yeah.
But you know what it is because it has different backs.
No, it's you added to Evolution.
Yeah, you add it to Evolution.
Oh,
That's
I
the
thought
back for Evolution.
I thought you
Yeah.
wanted to add it to this to like
it's
play.
stuff you can only get from this for the base game. Because
Right.
like, oh, buy this. We'll
But
give
this
you stuff
card
for this.
does exist in the game. It's just a different art.
Yeah.
Which I will give Evolution this. They do put out a bunch of different promo packs for stuff.
I'm pretty frustrated that it's all the same card. I understand why they did it, but I also disagree with it wholeheartedly. But that's just this little bonus pack thing that I'm complaining about, not the actual game.
Because he already complained about
Because
Yeah,
we already complained about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta complain about things. You know, otherwise
so-
it's boring if you just say everything's good.
It is. So, moment of truth. How many guys approve? Do you approve?
I'm in the middle.
You can't do that. It's
Well,
like-
the reason
be half a guy.
no, the reason I'm doing this, don't buy this, buy Evolution.
Okay, so that's a don't approve. So you're
Right.
thumbs down.
Technically on this, I am thumbs down, but get normal Evolution and then dumb it down.
Right.
I dig it. It taught me what I need to know to play normal Evolution.
Mhm.
And it's still fun enough, especially I can play with the niece and the nephews.
Right.
I can play with children.
Right.
Like,
So here's my thing, right? Is I was prepared coming into this, me being the one thumbs down, and the game is better than only one guy approves. It's better. It's a two guy approves game. So
It's a 66%.
it's a 66%.
C's get degrees.
C's it. That's not a C.
Depends on where you go.
Depends on where you go. In Wilmington High School, it was not a C.
I've heard it both ways.
I heard it both ways. Ew. So if we're forcing Tony because you can't be half a guy approving. You have to be one or the other. If we're forcing him down, I'm going to change my vote because this is not a perfect game, but it's not a terrible game. So it is. I'm going to give it an approval because it is a 2 out of 3 guys approve.
This guy, fish flopping.
Fish flopping. I don't want to be the one approving. We could make Tony be the one approving, but you know what?
He's sold out for the other version.
He's sold
Which
out
is
for the other
same
version.
thing,
Yeah.
so,
Except better.
that's
Yeah.
opinion.
So I'm saying that because not my cup of tea, but definitely a lot of people's cup of tea. A lot of people's cup of tea. If you're playing games, you're playing this one for probably the right reasons. So okay, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 guys approve.
Sure.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate you. Come back next week. We'll be playing more games and talking about them, learning how to play. I need to take that belt back from Larry. It will be mine again.
I'd like to win once.
Oh, no. No, you don't have to, Tony.
But I'd like to.
Yeah. Thank you again so much for watching. We're Guys the Beholder. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all those great things for the YouTube algorithm, and we'll talk to you in the next one.
This game sucks.
Good night.